Hello, everybody.
Yo,
What it do?
we back at the U.
Sports U here.
Sports U here.
We got another episode of Sports U podcast right here. We got Rob here with Aaron and Gifton once again. How we doing tonight, fellas?
Dude, it's really hot out today, man.
It's been fucking hot lately.
I guess crazy. The U.S. where we stay has a heat dome over it right now, and geez, we're feeling it.
To follow up with that too is like we were trying to do the Film Friday session, and then it really ended up going too well because of the power outage.
Fucking power.
There's a rolling blackout due to heat.
Everybody was using their air conditioners. Seemed like
I was using mine.
I was using mine too, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot for the show today, so hopefully you guys can stay with us once again. Today we will talk about the hard-fighting Trailblazers, the Western Conference matchups. We're going to do a deep Pelicans dive as well, and then we're also going to be talking about receiving tight ends, receiving big contracts.
Yes, sir.
So does anybody have any quick hits? Let's get it rolling with that here. I know that Donovan Mitchell dropped, 57 today?
Yeah. It's crazy, and they lost.
They lost over that. It was the backcourt violation where they just stayed in the backcourt for 8 seconds. It was Donovan, and he already admitted that he was taking his time, but like that just kind of started that momentum.
Yeah.
And it went the other way. Jamal Murray just caught fire.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
surprised Jokic
so
didn't hit that game winner.
I could tell that's gonna be like a 6 or 7 game series.
Oh,
Jamal
hold
Murray.
on to that, right?
Oh,
We got the Western Conference matchups. We gotcha.
He had 36 and 9 on 13 and 20 shooting, and Barcelona got killed by Bayern Munchen. They got destroyed 8-2, which is a crazy scoreline to see in soccer.
DC lost. That was kind of sad.
Yeah, Stipe.
Shout out DC though. Still,
DC. Shout out to DC for sure. Stipe is the GOAT heavyweight of all time.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously.
Yep.
Shout out to Fernando Tatis Jr. He had like 10 home runs already in I think it's like 20 games or so.
Yeah.
But he joins Mike Trout. I think they both have like 10 home runs, and those are the only people who are in double digits right now. So
Mike Trout has 10 dingers?
Yeah.
Didn't he join like a couple games late?
No, so he started the same thing as everybody else. He just went paternity leave.
I get you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Juan Soto is going crazy.
Soto.
Shout out Juan Soto.
Baby. Shout out to Bryce Harper as well. He's batting like 364 with I think it's like a 1,000 OPS. MVP pick looking pretty good, but there's definitely people doing better than him, and hopefully he can help the Phillies get to the next step. I
know I got my 8 seed prediction right with the Blazers topping the Grizzlies in the play-in game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I said that under that type of thing.
And I also I know like that's on record. I said Dame ain't going to let them go out like that. I said Dame is going to go nuts. And what did that man do? He got the bubble MVP unanimously.
Yeah, he did the most.
Yeah, man went on. Shout out Dame. Shout out Dollar.
They tried, man. They tried.
He's talking about the Grizzlies.
They just couldn't do it.
That loss to Jaren Jackson Jr. 3 or 4 games in. Once that happened, it was a wrap. Like I wasn't expecting Justice Winslow to play, but once Triple J was out, it's a wrap.
That and Ja was trying to be the man.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good shout out.
And he just kept getting turnover after turnover after turnover, and that was just killing him.
Still put up 37, I think it was. Yeah. All right. So that's all the shout outs there. So let's just go right into our first topic here. It is going to be the hard fighting Blazers.
Yes, sir.
So these, Blazers, as you were following up to your prediction. Let's just talk about their story real quick, or their season. The Portland Trailblazers coming into this bubble, they were 3.5 games back from the Memphis Grizzlies, who were in the 8th seed. They also only needed just 1 game to get into that sole possession of the 8th seed as well. The Trailblazers had a pretty rough season when it comes to luck. When you think about it, even right now, shooting guard CJ McCollum broke his back. Spinal. You also have Trevor Ariza, who opted out beforehand, a two-way forward. Center Jusuf Nurkic had a recovery throughout the whole regular season, so glad he was able to come back into the bubble and make a huge contribution.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yes, sir. You also have Zach Collins, who's underrated, and then you also he was having his shoulder injury throughout the whole entire season. Yeah. So for him to make that contribution here in the bubble is nice as well. He's just a good body. You also had Nurkic's grandmother pass away too from coronavirus, so R.I.P. to her.
R.I.P. man.
But no fear, Dame time is here. We've been talking about a point guard, Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers, on the podcast beforehand. As you can see, Aaron was
pretty
much all the way correct about him dominating the bubble and getting him to the SEC.
Sir,
so
parlay.
It worked out. But in that final, Dame's leadership in the playing game led to amazing contributions from C.J. McCollum, 29 points, 14 in the fourth quarter alone. Nurkic had 22 points, 22 rebounds. And then how can you forget Carmelo Anthony, who was acquired in the middle of last year? It felt like last year, but you know what I mean, the regular season there.
Can I get a 3 to the head for Melo?
3 to the head for all the 3-point daggers that he hit from the wing. So my question to you guys is, out of all the things that they endured, what was most impressive?
Probably Carmelo Anthony, because everybody just counted him out from after everything he went through at Oklahoma to then only playing 10 games in Houston and then being cut, and then he just came back mid-season. Like, just hitting big shots, still getting like 22, still mid-range Melo, skinny Melo. He's playing defense. Like, he's just
he could have been a scapegoat again.
Yeah.
How about you, man? What do you feel like is impressed you the most about the Blazers stretch?
You know, Portland is weird just because they're so stacked in the West. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got star-studded teams out there like the Warriors. Obviously, it was off here for the Warriors and stuff, but it's basically just a two-man group, especially this year, dude. They were killed by injuries. Dame and CJ, and they had the role dudes step up, and they had to steady the ship. This little break in the bubble and the whole COVID stuff, you know, it probably benefited the Blazers the most out of all teams just because Zach Collins was a key piece for them moving forward. Got healthy. Nurk was able to rehab a little bit more, you know, just heal up, get that extra durability. Other than losing Rodney Hood and Trevor Ariza, you know, health is a big key for them, man. And it shows that they're dangerous, that they have, like, they don't even have still their full team, you know what I mean? And look how dangerous they are.
Yeah, and then like you were saying, you mentioned Nurkic. Dude, he's made, like, huge contributions.
Dude,
I feel like, especially in the bubble, but, like, I didn't think, or at least I don't even remember him having this type of influence on the team. And he gives him a dog, too.
I remember being on Reddit. Maybe it was the top of the year. He was definitely still hurt. But it was saying, someone just randomly posted in the NBA subreddit asking, is Nurkic a top 5 center? And at first I scoffed and I was like, the fuck? And then I thought about it and I was like, shit, maybe, dude. The only people I got really above him maybe is obviously Kat, Jokic, Joel.
Do you take Vucevic?
Nah. Rudy Gobert is above him.
Okay.
He is.
Are we counting Bam as center?
Yeah.
Then I would say Bam. So it's not top 5, but
okay.
He's right there. Maybe top 7.
He's an honorable 6 man. I'll give him 6 man.
Yeah.
The point of the fact is that he's fucking good.
Yeah.
Dude, he's underrated.
Yeah.
And what's also crazy is because, like, I don't know when exactly that injury took place, but it for sure has not been that long, and he's being dominant.
No, yeah.
Because usually they say it takes 2 years to get fully back to yourself, you know what I mean?
He's a big dude, too.
And dude, he's a big dude,
like
and it's been way less than that, you know what I mean? And he's going crazy.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is he brings such a different dynamic to the offense because usually it's just all guard play, but now they have a big man that they can give it to in the post. He can get his own shot, and he's a great out-of-the-post passer.
He can move. He shot a couple threes, too.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he has a shooting motion, like a good shooting motion. So I like that part, too. I think one of the things that you mentioned as well, Aaron, was that the other people were able to, like, fulfill certain roles. And I feel like Gary Trent Jr. was a huge part of that.
Shout out Gary Trent Jr.
And not only that, it's like they set their brand. They made everybody know that they were here, and they were here for, like, one thing only, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is that, like, a lot of people use the exhibition for rest rather than, like, getting people going.
Yeah.
And maybe figuring things out, like we were mentioning with the Lakers. But these guys came in with the mission. They're already in playoff mode, I feel like. So they can get a real big head start on this Laker team right now, who's still struggling to figure out, like, where they are with their current team.
And what is the biggest flaw that we pointed out of our little, like, prediction of the Lakers is the Lakers.
Guard play.
Their kryptonite is guard play. So yeah, for me, I think they're the way that they were implementing themselves, that's what impressed me the most. And Damian Lillard put himself on the map. He called people out. Like, not he was already on the map. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying like he's getting
attention. Like
this
he's
is
up there,
like he's here,
upper echelon NBA now.
Exactly, and people they were picking Lakers the whole time, and then now it's like, man, this doesn't look too good.
It's about to be dangerous. And then one more thing, also, sorry to cut you off.
No problem. Damian
Lillard kind of having that Steph Curry-esque factor where if your superstar buys in and he's, you know what I mean, he's down to do the dirty work and he's humble and what like that, it just builds a winning culture.
Yeah.
The Tim Duncan model.
I think it's a huge thing when he puts a whole bunch of confidence inside of CJ McCollum to bring him home. Like you were mentioning, I think a long time ago when we were just even possibly talking about it, you said that we know we can get from CJ based off of the Nuggets Game 7.
And look what he did. He iced the game against the Grizzlies with 2 clutch buckets. I think he had a floater and maybe a dagger 3, I think. I could be mistaken on that. I just know he had 2
like
clutch
one
buckets.
felt like a dagger, and then the second one
was like,
okay, that's
over.
That's it.
It's over.
I just remember CJ was having like big strides in that game. Like he took that last couple of minutes over.
It's awesome to see. Especially for a Trailblazers team.
Shout out Rip City, dude. Shout out Rip City. The Moda Center, man. They gotta bring it home.
Rip City. We're speaking about Western Conference matchups. We were talking about again. We were talking about the hard-fighting Blazers. With the first matchup, I gave them little cute names. We got the guardless Lakers.
You disrespectful.
Name out the seeds too.
Guardless,
disrespectful.
We got the guardless Lakers at number 1. Versus the rolling Portland Trailblazers at number 8. Now it's gonna be quick here. All I want to hear is who you guys got for each matchup. How many games is it gonna happen for that completion? And then you got the X Factor player.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and start with Aaron on this one.
So we're doing
for the guardless Lakers.
For the 1 to 8. Sadly, as much as we just hyped up the Cinderella story of the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to say 5, but I am honestly going to go Lakers in 6. I think Damian Lillard is good enough to get them a game by himself, and them as a team, as a unit, they match up kind of well versus the Lakers, and I think that can get them a game. Lakers in 6. My player to watch / X Factor. Anthony Davis in the 4th quarter. That's what I'm going to look out in this series. Because even if it's just a tune-up for the next series, I need to see that guy aggressive and asserting himself in playoff basketball. His very first meaningful playoff basketball.
Yes, sir. I guess you. How about you, Gifton?
Yeah. I'm also agree and take the Lakers, but I think it's going to go to 7.
7.
Yeah, it's going to 7.
Shout out Rip City.
He's giving him 7.
Message.
That's going 7, bro. That's going to be a straight shootout.
It is.
X Factor. I said it once. I'll say it again. Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma has to knock off the streaky scoring, streaky shooting, and he just really has to step up and embrace the moment.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick the guardless Lakers, too. I think I'm going to pick them in 7.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard fucking fight.
Yep.
Nah, I'm just going to say 6.
Yeah.
The reason why I want to say 6 is because they're number 1 seed for a reason, like you were mentioning. You also have LeBron James, of course, but
that's the only answer.
They weren't looking too good, but yeah, no, you take in account LeBron's experience with the type of weapons he does have. Will he become like playoff mode Bron? Or is he going to be 12 assists Bron?
Dude.
Or is he going to be 40-point?
I was literally just thinking that in my head. I was like, what are we going to see? Because what if he gets frustrated? What if it's like a really close game in the 4th quarter and LeBron's doing this shit where he's trying to pump up Anthony Davis still because they can kind of slide in this round a little bit. You know what I mean?
You think they can a little bit? I think it's kind of scary.
So no, I don't think they can slide personally, but I feel like I think LeBron has that confidence where it's like, even if we go down 2-1, I got this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so say they get in the pickle, it's a very close game, and they just getting stagnated and a little more frustrated. Are we gonna see it revert to like 2017 levels of LeBron, where it's just like, all right, y'all, I gotta do this shit myself. Literally,
I hope so.
You're gonna see Anthony Davis
become
into
a Kevin Love.
Yeah.
No, and like not the good Kevin Love.
That Chris Bosh role.
No, like for real. Like what if that?
Like,
I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but I wonder. It's something to look out for.
I think that Kevin Love gonna happen
because what if that happens in the first round?
Well, Kevin Love can shoot threes.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis
way better than Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
he can hit threes, but he's not. No, he's not like special. But yeah, so I think Lakers 6 games, not 7 games. they're 1 seed for a reason. They'll figure it out. And if anything, LeBron's gonna take it over like that. So
Yep.
X Factor player, LeBron James. I'm sorry, like it's pretty simple to say, but he's just gonna be the best all the way around.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, and
Damian Lillard, man, that's crazy. See, it's because like you have to speak on his name with that respect now.
Well, you do, but
Nah, for real, right though. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like
He's crazy now.
This is a scary
crazy
matchup.
now.
It's very scary, but from what I know, like what I see in the Lakers, like
when I see LeBron, not the Lakers.
Yeah.
When I see LeBron,
when I see him throw that,
when
ball,
I see him dribble down court like that and slam that basketball,
I said, "Wow,
how can I bet against that?"
For me,
an orange peanut.
All right, and
Wow.
so the next one here, we got the little brother Clippers, number 2 seed.
See how disrespectful is America?
Little brother Clippers versus the number 7 seed Unicorn Mavericks. I almost said Magic. My fault.
I actually like that one.
and as of
The Unicorn
recording,
Mavericks.
the Clippers went 1-0 up in the series.
1-0 up.
118 to 110.
118 to 110.
Yep. With the Kristaps Porzingis ejection.
That was trash, bro.
What's up with that?
That was
I
trash.
don't even. What quarter was that? The third.
I think it was the third quarter. Yeah, third quarter with like 6 minutes left.
Go ahead and bring it in.
When you look at it, I have the Clippers coming out of the West. So I definitely have the Clippers. But even these Mavericks were putting up really good fights in the regular season against the Lakers. And KP was not rolling the same way that he's rolling out right now.
Right.
This one goes 7.
Yeah.
And that's if KP can stay in the fucking stay in the game. But this one's going 7. No, like because Luka's that crazy. That's why I call him the Unicorn Mavericks. You've never seen anything like it.
2 unicorns. Yeah.
Of course, you have KP, who's already called the Unicorn, but you've never seen something like Luka. Like he's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Luka legend.
42 points.
I got to go in 7 though because I just have that much respect for that duo. And then that, even though he took a little bit of a dry spell at a critical point in the game, like you were mentioning, Gifton, that he'll make a huge impact, possibly a negative impact. Tim Hardaway Jr. was doing pretty well, and then also you got Seth Curry in a shooting gym. So I see them taking multiple games, especially with the way they shoot threes, that they can keep up with a lot of teams.
I've got that going 7 as well. Only because Luka and KP, like you were saying, they have the right pieces around them to go 7 and to hang with the Clippers, really. So they have the pieces. If they want to go big, the Mavericks can go big. If they want to go small, the Mavericks can go small with the Clippers. So I do have the Clippers winning, but it's going 7.
It's going 7.
Yeah.
What's your son? X Factor player?
Let's go Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah.
Bob's favorite defensive center.
For some reason.
that man is a defensive anchor.
This is his first time playing since March 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
X Factor player, I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to pick on somebody from the Clippers, and I'm going to say it's Paul George had his way today, so I'm going to say Paul George is coming out being like the MVP of the series.
You got to try to assert his dominance. I feel. With me personally, I'm going to go contrary to you guys in the 7. I'm going to say the Clippers wrap this up in 5.
Ooh.
I feel like
5.
Yeah.
I see it happening in 5 because they're still young, but man, those guys are good. Go ahead.
Dude, they're super good. Every game's going to be tough, I feel.
Yeah.
I just honestly, personally believe that the Clippers know that this series could be a potential 7-gamer, and they're going to know that they need to get this wrapped up as possible. I mean, as quick as possible, and continue focus on trying to gel and whatnot, and focus on staying healthy and keeping Kawhi's not having him, exhaust himself in the first round.
Yeah.
And then also another thing, dude, Luka is amazing, and it's great that he has KP and whatnot. But like I kind of said, I don't know if it was last episode or the one before, their offense gets really stagnated in the half court because it's literally just Luka and 4 other dudes just standing. Probably the best perimeter defense in the league. I think the Clippers they can force.
Put a stop to that.
They can force some errors.
I get you. Good one. X Factor.
Can I go the Clippers wing depth instead of actual player? Like the Jermichael Greens, the Marcus Morris, there's another dude, the Landry Shamet. You know what I mean? As if those guys can go in there and force Luka just to work a little harder, that means less defensive workload for PG and Kawhi.
Yeah.
Well, They did that today. 10 turnovers.
Let's keep that model, you know what I mean? Just let these guys focus on the offense and let them play the passing lanes so they don't have to man up and be physical and stuff like that.
Yep. All right, so then you got the number 3 seeded tall dude Nuggets because they have like that tall. big ass lineup.
Shout out them rainbow jerseys.
I know they didn't do a tall lineup this year, but tall dude Nuggets.
That looks cool.
You'll see why I call them the tall dude Nuggets. You know what I mean? And then you also got them facing the 1-star Jazz at the number 6 seed. The tall dude Nuggets.
Define what you mean by 1-star.
1-star Jazz is no Bogdan.
No Mike Conley.
Mike Conley, thank you.
Shout out, bro. Just had a baby.
Rudy Gobert, I don't think of him as a star, especially on the offensive end. He didn't even get into All-Star. Like,
America,
he's not a consistent
if you could
All-Star.
only see my face after he said that.
Well, the 1-star Jazz, the 1-star dropped 57. So I'm going to call him the 1-star Jazz.
Okay.
So you got the tall dude Nuggets against the 1-star Jazz. Gittin, who you got? How many games? X Factor,
MPJ. To hopefully he can keep this consistency up and not be so streaky or not become a streaky shooter, streaky scorer. I got the Nuggets in the 6. Yeah, because I don't see Utah just going out easy. They'll get 2. Actually, the second game Utah wins. I'm just go out on a whim and say that Denver makes a crucial mistake and they capitalize on it. That's how they get their second win. Oh, what you got, bro? What about you?
I got the Nuggets winning in 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The reason why I think because is Donovan Mitchell will get 1. This is like a gentleman's sweep.
Ooh.
Their team is way too good. And then also Rudy Gobert was doing good things, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things that he did bad today. X Factor player, hopefully Jamal Murray can continue to be the same dude. So I'm going to pick Jamal Murray. And then games 5. I got the Nuggets. Yeah, gentleman's sweep.
You kind of stole my prediction, man. I wanted to go Nuggets in 5 as well. Just because, dude, without Bogdan, that's crucial. Like, once I seen he got surgery, I was like, well, there go the Jazz's hopes. You know what I mean? There's not going to score.
Then Mike left, and that was just another
Their defense is still good, you know what I mean? But there's no way. These dudes struggle to score over 100 points, you know what I mean? And it took Donovan Mitchell to drop 57. But, no, I got Nuggets in 5. I think Donovan Mitchell can get a game. Not by itself, but I think, like, him and Joe Ingles would probably topple them. X Factor / player to look out for. I'm gonna go Mike Malone. Honestly, I'm just gonna check out his lineup management, his X's and O's and schemes. I feel like he's gonna employ the right strategy and put all of his players in the best positions to succeed. Pardon me.
Cool. All right, so now we got the last ones. So you have the small dude Rockets against the surprising Thunder.
Do you want to start this one off?
Yeah, take it away from Bob.
Me? Okay, my fault. Let me go ahead and go with the Rockets. I picked the Rockets because I see their guard play just being overwhelming. I see their numbers doing pretty well. I don't see Steven Adams being that much of a huge like effect against the Rockets, even though they are playing that small ball at a disadvantage. But I think they'll take advantage of Steven Adams playing. So. Overall, they're just gonna hit more. They're just gonna hit more threes to overcome it. Even though Russell Westbrook isn't gonna be there for the first game or something.
They said a few games, so a few to me is like 2, maybe 3.
2, 3. So I still see the Rockets doing pretty well. I think Robert Covington was the needle in the haystack.
Yep.
Or like diamond in the rough time shit. They needed him. He's a good fit. I think he's gonna be my X Factor player as well. How many games? This one's going to go to 6.
Man, this one's got narratives. It's crazy that Russ is out. Like, it's so ironic that they traded Chris Paul in fear of him not being healthy for the playoffs. And the dude they traded him for is hurt for the first round of the playoffs against the guy that they traded. It's crazy, man. Like, terrible. Can't make this stuff up. But I'm going to go against the... Oh, yeah. Literally.
His quad.
I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to pick the Thunder in 7. Yeah, I wanted to say 6. I'm going to go 7. I think that no rest is going to be big because it just reverts to James Harden and 4 dudes standing there. especially with no Clint Capella. Like, James Harden can still run screens and pick and rolls and high pick and rolls, but he's not going to have the same intensity on those screens as Clint Capella, because he would nail some dudes. PJ Tucker, he's physical and whatnot. He can set a good screen, but do you want him moving out from that corner that much? Because he's one of the best corner threes in the past handful of years. So yeah, I got that. Dude, he's literally made a contract just sitting in that corner.
Yeah, no, exactly. Have you ever seen him though? Nowadays, he just when he breaks the fuck out of it.
Sometimes he be hitting the side of the backboard. Like, fuck it. Jog back up court.
Hey, bro, keep taking that shit. Bro.
Yeah, he's good, sir. And that's tight to that system. Like, same thing with like Duncan Robinson. They just like shoot, man. Just keep shooting. You know what I mean? They get mad when he doesn't shoot. And then X Factor, dude. I'm gonna go Chris Paul's floor leadership, because that dude he's gonna settle the troops, and he's gonna dictate the flow of every single game when he has the ball in his hands. And I feel for a young team like them, that's key. And then also, I was really close to picking this Mavs X Factor, but shout out Lou Dort.
Oh yeah, good old Lou Dort.
Go ahead, Gifton. How you feeling about
the Rockets
this?
Fan,
I know,
who you got?
I'm picking the Rockets.
H-Town native.
Houston native. Nah, I'm just kidding. IE born and raised. I'm going with the Rockets in 7. Only because Chris Paul knows the offense. He was there last year.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even think that's crazy.
Like, bro, he kind of know the playbook if we be real.
And think of his mind, because D'Antoni don't change shit. I mean, everyone knows their playbook, bro. They don't be running shit, man.
Exactly.
Hey, James,
they don't run
I'm going to set you a screen, man. All right, here I come.
Mm-hmm. But I got the Rockets in 7 because I feel like James Harden will overcome and just put it away, because he has to, especially if Russ doesn't come back. X Factor.
Wait, real quick. How much is he scoring? Like, what's the highest he's scoring?
Oh, I need 60 a night.
Yeah, James going off.
James going off.
I think the highest
James
is
going
63.
Off. He has to.
And then it's 60, and then it's 57?
I think he drops 150-point game in the series. It's a good over-under.
Yeah, he was close. He dropped 45.
You want to do 60, though?
I mean, he has to. He literally has to.
You want to do 60?
He has to. He's 60 or 50, bro. He has to be the
Calling it here sports you. Was it extra?
Sports you here. X Factor.
He's dropping 60.
He might.
3:30 p.m. tomorrow.
Yep.
So how many games?
7.
And then what's your X Factor?
I'm gonna pick James Harden, because James Harden just has to set the tone early. Like, we're gonna rely on you and you only. So we up when you up, we down when you down.
All right, for sure. And that's it with the Western Conference matchups there. But we're gonna get into the meat of the show here. We're gonna go ahead and do a Pelican deep dive. So the New Orleans Pelicans had a lot of promise coming into the season. They had the number 1 overall pick with the 8th overall pick as well in this year's draft.
Yeah.
They, of course, got the Holy Grail in Phenom Zion Williamson as well.
So much of a phenom.
Head coach Alvin Gentry was supposed to be good.
Old droopy face.
They signed shooting guard J.J. Redick for, 2 years? So they signed him for next year. They traded for power forward Derek Favors as well. Turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and most importantly, Brandon Ingram were ready to ball with a chip on their shoulder. Zion was lost for the first 44 games of the shortened season. They had to teach him how to run at one point.
Crazy.
What the fuck was that? Brandon Ingram. I think they also had to teach him how to land.
They had to read
something like that. Walking,
everything.
running, jumping, all that.
Running, jumping. Brandon Ingram was an all-star. How about that?
Yeah.
Lonzo was developing throughout the whole entire season until he hit the bubble. He was getting more aggressive, but not where we want him to be, because he should have been like that throughout the whole bubble as well. They were strong candidates to take the 8th seed, but when they got to the bubble, they ended up going 2 and 6.
That was depressing to watch.
This all led to the dismissal of head coach Alvin Gentry.
Good.
So with all of the potential, with all the new assets, and the result of this season, what happened with the Pelicans, and what should they do going forward? All right. So we'll start with gifting.
So the first thing they need to do is either bite the bullet with Drew Holiday's contract and just ride it out paying him, or they need to find a way to trade him and get rid of that contract because he has $52 million guaranteed. That's holding him back cap space wise. He's 30. This is probably like his only real time to go to a contender. Another thing that I want to build up is go ahead and lock Brandon Ingram up. Might as well. He's proved it. He deserved it. He's one who deserves a contract. How much, though? That's the question. I don't want to say $100 million, but I mean, he was an all-star, so it's up in the air right there. Got to find a coach. Obviously, everybody wants Kenny Atkins. If not Kenny Atkins, I would say I don't really want Fizz.
What do you think was wrong with the Pelicans in the first place? What went wrong in this season?
Alvin Gentry's rotations, Zion's weight. There was no like designated go-to player. You
don't think that was Brandon Ingram?
I mean, it was some nights, and then some nights it was Zion. Some nights it was just the team being a collective whole to get the win. I would say they need a point guard because, I mean, I believe in Lonzo. I feel like Lonzo will get up there one of these days, but right now it's not really cutting it. They need like a real playmaker.
Well, isn't Lonzo more of a playmaker?
I mean, he is, but he's a very underwhelming playmaker.
So who do you think would do a better job, or what is Lonzo missing that would make them what you want them to be, or what you want in a point guard, especially for the Pelicans?
I feel like Lonzo just needs to be more aggressive when he's just taking shots and attacking the basket. Like I know he can set the team up, but just sometimes he's not really attentive to it, and it just falls out of place.
Do you want him to be like that when you have somebody like Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram? Don't you want him to just be like more of a supportive piece, not a key piece? Or do you want him to be that third big piece? Or isn't that Drew Holiday?
I thought it was Drew Holiday, but I mean, at the same time, Drew Holiday is still underwhelming too.
So let's say you wanted to trade Drew Holiday. What do you want to trade him for?
If I trade Drew Holiday, I'd like to get like either a point guard, a playmaking point guard, or somebody to. I think we were talking about it off here. Somebody to stretch the floor, like a big power forward to stretch the floor.
For sure. I guess that will lead me to go next year. So for myself, when you watch the Pelicans, I think the best thing for that team to do is to work through Brandon Ingram. He's their best scorer. He can play make as well. He can rebound. He's long enough. He can be that guy. He's a high scorer as well. So what you want at 22 years old, he is that person. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want my whole thing to be.
One question for you.
Around this guy, Brandon Ingram.
If you had to give him a contract, what do you give him?
The full thing. I have to.
Full thing?
Yeah, because I think he's restricted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So somebody's going to give him that contract, so I got to give it to him to match it.
Right.
So I'm going to give him that. And the reason why is because he's my best player. I'm not going to let somebody go who's this type of age and like who's just showing year and year and year that I'm better. Mm-hmm. So he's only 22 again. He's going to get some more fucking like muscle on him.
I hope.
And it's gonna just be natural, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna naturally get onto him. So he's still very young. So that's where like I think the Pelicans need to not get away from, because when Zion's in there, I feel like they focus on Zion being the main guy when Zion should be just like the cleanup. Like I'm here to make everybody else kind of better again. Mm-hmm. And then like I'm gonna cut once BI looks like he's in trouble and he's getting a double team. I'm gonna be that guy who's cutting, or I'm gonna be that guy who's gonna go and get his rebound on the other side because I know how to play and we have that type of chemistry when I got your back and I got my cleanup because that's what I'm able to provide for this type of team.
Yeah.
So going forward, let's just say this next year, because I think that's like also another premise of this question, that we want this team to make the playoffs next year. Mm-hmm. Based off of what they have and what their potential can be. I think in this last season that they lost a lot of leads. You can see it, that they have a certain potential, and then when it came down to closing the game, they lost it all.
Yep.
They lost their way of going about things because they built a lead based off of certain things. Most of it was going through BI.
Right.
So anyway, I think another thing to kind of compact and make Zion Williamson better, because you want him to be better as your number one pick and all of the, investment that you have into this guy, is to get, like you were mentioning, a key stretch 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward into this next season, I think that's something that they might want to think about doing. They had Derek Favors. He worked out, but I think that's somebody that can stretch the floor more, can allow more for Brandon Ingram for his penetration, as well as Zion Williamson being a cutter. You have JJ Redick already on the outside as well.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned trading Drew Holiday. I was kind of thinking about it, like, you want some good defense, and you have so many of the same type of guard that you're already cool, and you have a solid guard.
So you keep it, Drew.
Yeah, you keep that, because I don't see you bringing in a better asset that's going to be better than Drew Holiday or what he can be.
Okay.
So I think that the best way to get the best potential out of everybody is to, again, even in that bad system, which I don't think, like, Alvin Gentry is a good coach, but that's for, like, another thing. He's fired, so that kind of says the most about him.
Thank God.
Brandon Ingram was able to rise in that situation. Imagine with a good coach.
Mm.
So, again, those are my focal points when it comes into, like, making decisions. Also, a huge thing is, dude, again, we have so much shit into Zion Williamson. Please keep that man healthy. Do whatever you can. Give him, like, a fucking LeBron physicianist or a nutritionist and shit. All that shit. Make sure that this guy is your focal point, because it's not only good for the Pelicans, it's good for the NBA.
Yep.
Okay, so my thing that I would like to do is bring in Jason Kidd as the coach. The reason why is because right now he's on the Lakers. He's learning from that winning culture. Beforehand, he had a winning culture with the Bucks. I think he only had one losing season, but the rest of the seasons he had either 500 or over 500 record, which is definitely better what the Pelicans are able to do. Also, Frank Vogel is a defensive-based coach. Hopefully he can learn a lot from that part, because again, if you just run it through BI, like, I'm sure you can make something out of all that talent that you do have.
Yeah, obviously.
Lonzo's going to come back with a vengeance next year. I think you let him walk after as well, because I don't think he wants to stay in New Orleans. I also don't want to depend on somebody that has had this type of brand where I'm not going to be as aggressive. And in a guards league, I need him to be aggressive. Mm-hmm. So he's going to put out this year to get that contract, and then somebody else is going to give it to him. I'm not going to do that. I have draft picks, and there's a lot of guards that are going to be good going forward.
One thing we never brought up, draft picks.
Draft picks, baby.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to want. I'm going to want Jason Kidd to come in and do that for it as well. Again, also, Giannis liked Jason Kidd. He was mad that they fired Jason Kidd. So I feel like that speaks a lot. Now, when it comes to the key stretch 4 or 5, I know this is a small forward. He can play power forward. He's a big dude. Jay Crowder, he's going to be a free agent. I think that Miami keeps Myers Leonard. They let Jay Crowder go. Jay Crowder comes into Pelicans, can be a defensive presence, was on winning teams beforehand, can bring each culture into their culture as well. You got Jason Kidd. You got Jay Crowder. I think those are the right steps in the right directions. But, man, this talent, this potential is already set. Just keep on building on this. And of course, like, in my opinion, Lonzo's going to erupt next season and get his money and go somewhere else, because he's not going to continue to produce like this next season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I think that's my thing for them. Try to get him into a winning culture, and they already have good talent. Let's just build what we got and bring in something.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, they're in a good situation just because that AD trade. Thankfully, AD is a generation of talent, so they were able to get a good haul, and then the number 1 pick just fell to them crazily, because they were supposed to get the 11th pick or something like that.
The story of that, even.
Dude, that's insane.
Because they were like the story of the whole season with Anthony Davis.
Literally, yeah, and then bam,
that happened.
Wow. But for them to move on, this is still a really, really young team. So first and foremost, internal development is always good. From what I've read on Reddit and whatnot, they have a good. They're putting good. David That's his name. David Griffin, right?
David Griffin.
Yeah,
David Griffin. GM.
Yeah, I'm just so used to calling him Griff. You know what I mean?
Like an owl.
Back when he had hair, that's when you called him Griff.
Yeah, Griff. He shows that he's super competent. He knows how to run a team and get anything done by all means necessary in Cleveland. But so he's a good head, and he's putting the right pieces in place. So, man, there's just so much. So I'm gonna start with additions. So I know they're gonna lose a couple players if I'm not mistaken. So they have a couple choices to make. I know Derek Favors is off the books, Etwan Moore is off the books, Jaleel Okafor, and then there are also 2 other random players that I don't think are very necessary, so I don't have to name them. So that's really tough. I would. Part of me wants to say re-sign Derek Favors just because he's been good for them. He's finally healthy, gives you solid minutes. If you can get him on a good deal under $10 million, I would do that. He doesn't add much on the offensive ends, only like 9-10 points. But like I said, that's solid center minutes. If we can maybe get him to start shooting, or if you could upgrade and maybe find a stretch big, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. They need to first and foremost work on their defense, because I feel I've been watching a lot of especially the bubble games, but I even tried to watch a couple Pelican games from post Zion's return, and it just seems like to keep up with teams, they were just relying on their pace and whatnot. Like, they don't really have a defensive scheme or identity on defense. They're relying a lot of they're just trying to outgun teams and outrun teams because they have young legs. So when it comes to defense, man, it just starts. So first off, we can start with Zion being the small ball center.
Yep.
That can work in certain cases, but that is not a go-to, especially for him being a rookie, especially for him being out of shape. I seen DeMar DeRozan literally eat that whole defense alive because, dude, what are you gonna do? Like, Zion, as athletic and big as that dude is, he's what, 6'6"?
Yeah, 6'6".
Some 6'5" maybe, I think, without shoes or something like that. But
maybe.
Regardless, like, he doesn't have that Draymond Green effect of being a great interior defender as well.
Yeah.
He has potential, but it's just not there yet. That's going to be tough. You have to work on that, but Derek Favors isn't. He's all right defensive center.
Just real quick to help you out here, nobody on the Pelicans averaged even 1 block.
Really?
Yeah. That's like, I'm telling you, dude, their interior defense is not the business right now. They definitely need rim protection. They need to upgrade. Their whole defense in general.
That's crazy.
But rim protection, perimeter defense, and defensive rebounding. So with the rim protection, just get another center in there. Who did I mention? Fair, go ahead.
Jackson Hayes is put in some really good minutes in that last couple games where he was just very energetic. I think he had like 13 points, but I feel like he can make a big difference going forward. He has the athleticism to get everywhere, and then he can also switch onto plenty. So I think he just needs experience. Rookie year, eighth overall pick this year too. So just keep an eye out for that guy. Like, he did show like promise in the summer league or something before the league. Yeah. But no, like he looked really good in that little game.
I would keep him in the role he's in right now for another year and a half, maybe, just like as kind of the third man center, you know what I mean? Playing a lot of just dead minutes and just like 10 to 15 minutes. Just because, like, you hit it right on the nail. He's a good athlete and everything. He just needs to learn the game, especially with centers and defense. It's a whole new level, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see him shooting or being anything like as a scoring type of option.
Oh, yeah, he's just a rim runner. Yeah.
The rest of it is pretty impressive. Dude.
Exactly. So that's rim protection. So, and then with perimeter defense, we've seen Brandon Ingram come into his own. He became a great defender this year on top of his offense. You know, he's finally using his length, and he's starting to swipe a lot more and whatnot. Josh Hart, I know he was supposed to be a molded 3-and-D player. Not, you know, he still is, but not to the degree that we had hoped for. He's still really young, but I guess he's a body. But other than that, they don't have any large wing defenders that they can throw at people, especially being in the West. You know, that's the key. The West is full of perimeter talent, and you're going to need perimeter defenders. So they need to upgrade there, get a couple bodies that can play serviceable minutes and that won't be black holes on offense. Derek Favors is not the best defensive rebounder, although he's probably the best defensive rebounder they have. And then again, when you go Zion at center, it's just insane because that dude's not going to get defensive rebounds. You have to do it by committee in that sense. And especially when this is a perfect segue going into Zion's offense. If they want him to be a key integral part into their just franchise going forward, he needs to make strides. You know, dude's only played 19 plus 8 bubble games. He's only played 27 games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's going to come with more hands-on work and coaching and whatnot. But he's just not really good in pick and pop situations against bigs that can shoot. Like, he just normal pickup stuff. He goes for a lot of steals. He gambles when trying to go for blocks. Like, he'll leave his feet jump in the air, leaving his team exposed for the defensive rebound. Blah, blah, blah. He'll try and gamble and jump into a passing lane when he shouldn't. He should stick with his man and leave an empty backdoor cut. Just simple things that come with experience and whatnot. So if he can make strides in there, that man can become a Draymond Green-esque effect on the Pelicans and become an anchor.
He needs to lose weight and get healthy.
Yeah, he needs to lose at least 30 pounds.
That's it.
That's first and foremost. I'm pretty sure that's obvious to almost everyone.
Be able to move.
Yeah.
You got to lose at least 30, bro.
I'm not a nutritionist or anything, you know what I mean? But I can see that that's not the best basketball shape for his career.
Yep.
Even look at Charles Barkley because, he gets compared to him a lot. Charles Barkley was huge, and I think it was even Moses Malone who said, hey, you too fat, man. You need to lose weight. And I want to say Charles MVP. Charles, he ended up losing the weight, and that dude claimed an MVP, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He led that Suns team to the finals and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. But so Zion, just get in shape. And then keep giving the keys to BI on the offense because we see where that can go. Hopefully they get Kenny Atkinson. I see Kenny Atkinson and David Fizdale as probably the top two. As a Knicks fan, I'm against David Fizdale. Go for Kenny Atkinson. Yeah. Wrap it off and just end it really quickly. They don't have much money right now. Obviously, who knows with the COVID and stuff like that. But I would also cash in on Drew Holiday, but we can go on. Gifton already kind of alluded to that. I would just look for people
real quick because you mentioned Drew Holiday. Who are you trading him for?
So
if like a good ideal, not like I'm gonna go get this specific player. Like, what are you looking for in exchange for a two-way guard? He is that player. You already know what he is. What do you want in exchange for him?
So I'm I would want to trade Drew definitely because he just doesn't fit in line with the age range of my core group of players.
Exactly.
He's 30 going into his 31. My core foundation of my team is 23,
20.
Probably like 20, 24.
Almost yeah, that's the average range, like 20 to 24. So
with everybody in mind,
by the time they by the time they're coming into their primes and whatnot, Drew's gonna be out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to leave this out just because it's been talked about so much, and I honestly focused more on free agent pickups. But now that I'm thinking, so it's a lot more about teams that use Drew, that would need Drew. So I'm thinking, I'm just gonna think of the Bucks, right? And a package from the Bucks, just hypothetical. I would definitely want a first round pick. I would definitely want a first round pick, maybe a second round pick, a young player that can help me right now, and like something to make the money. So that was the first thing I was about to say.
That guy's so
I
good.
didn't think about that one.
I would want to take DiVincenzo and or Pat Connaughton, and then throw it. Hey, that's a body who can shoot and is athletic wing. You know what I mean? That's what they need. Cheap guy, just fill in, play under 20 minutes. There it is. So that's a decent package. I don't know if the money works off the top of my head, but if not, they can add an expiring.
So when I think of you brought up those players. When I think of Pat Connaughton, I think of like kind of sly. It can go into like little tight holes, and then he's a little bit of a playmaker, can make a shot.
What Lakers fans think Alex Caruso is.
Yeah, better.
Exactly.
And then he actually hits his layups. And then you have Dante DiVincenzo, who's
Same
not going
mold.
to step back from anybody, who does everything correct and like is a good role player.
He showed big strides this year
too. So you're trading like a key piece for a guy who can play make and then a guy who can be more aggressive. Set like an aggressive culture.
Yeah, and
what do you see from it? That's what I see from it. Do you see the same?
Kind of to break down exactly what package I'm looking for, regardless of the team, and then I'll go in depth on the Bucks package that I hypothetically posed out. I would trade Drew for, I would say, depth. I'm gonna trade Drew for depth, and also what that does is that opens up another. Basically, it opens up more responsibility for our younger players, and that opens up more ball handling opportunities for Lonzo and Bi, who, according to the Pelicans, are the future. You know what I mean? We kind of talked a little bit off air. You guys had your disputes about re-signing Lonzo and whatnot. He's going into a contract year.
How about you? What do you feel like with Lonzo?
I would definitely let this year play out. I would not offer him an extension right now because the money that I would offer him, he would probably not take. I would play this year out, see what he does, see if he actually is committed and whatnot. I would want to re-sign him. I'm a big Lonzo fan. I see him as a kind of in the mold of a poor man's Jason Kidd. I don't know if he'll ever figure out the offense, but dude, he had strides, man. He's a great defender, and he was hitting his jumper this year until the bubble.
So that's the thing. I like Lonzo too. I'm a big fan of Lonzo too because I'd see what he does for playing. Like when the Pelicans are playing and he's on the floor,
doesn't show
he
up on a
looks
stat
good.
sheet.
Yeah, everything doesn't show up exactly. So I've always been a big advocate for him. But when and it seems to happen time and time again where he seems to shrink in these bigger moments. He goes invisible. Like that's where like I think I draw the line now. You know what I mean? That's where I believe, and that's why I'm advocating from him, or excuse me, saying that he's going to have a big year next year because I think he's capable of doing it. But am I going to put my chips in this bag where he has – I got to go from what history has proven me, even though I've been like a biased like type of opinion going into it.
2 years in a row, we've been waiting for him to quote-unquote break out.
He did break out in the end of this season again, but
yeah, but not like we want to see that we want to see a full campaign. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, with the contract, man, yeah, I would re-sign him on the upside, but I'm not going over 12 to 13 mil. Yeah, exactly. And then really quickly, just to run off a couple key free agents I think they can pick.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
So I'm gonna look for some wings that can give me serviceable minutes and that aren't black holes on offense. Maybe a better to upgrade Derek Favors defensively / offensively, and maybe another off the guard creator. So, and then a stretch big. I'm sorry. So stretch bigs in the market. Kelly Olynyk is gonna accept that player option, so he's out. But I mentioned Myers Leonard's gonna be on the market. They did good with bringing Melly coming out of nowhere. Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, not really stretch bigs, but they can hit shots, and they're gonna be out on the market. That's also great defensive presence and veteran leadership. That's two birds with one stone right there. You know what I mean? Those would be two good lookups. And then,
do you think they'll go there?
If they have to.
If the money is right, and if what's his name? And if Toronto doesn't want to bring them back.
Yeah.
And then Davis Bertans is also the biggest pick that key player I want to highlight. He's gonna be, cream of the crop for the free agents this year. Great shooter. That dude shot like 8 threes a game and like. Crazy. But he would be beautiful next to Zion offensively wise because the floor would be open. And then wings, if Miami slips the bag and doesn't want to re-sign Jay Crowder, there's there. Josh Jackson's going to be a free agent. You can get Joe Harris, who's also going to be a free agent, although I believe he's going back to the Nets. Marco Bellinelli is a great shooter that you could use, although he doesn't add any defensive presence at all.
I always look at the name of Marco Bellinelli now. He's not
like,
the same player, which sucks.
Nah, I agree.
He's not the same player.
Yeah, in the right. Well,
hell nah.
In the right. Did you guys see his playoff run? Not last season because he wasn't in the playoffs, but the season before that with the Sixers.
No, yeah, that's.
The thing. Yeah, like, that was
kind of over now.
That's crazy, man.
Sucks.
But
always been a constant. Like you can rely on this guy. Come off the bench.
Like 8 to 14 minutes. That dude hit a couple clutch threes. He could change your future. Mm-hmm. And then Justin Holiday's a big wing that can hit some shots and play a little defense. And then to round it all off, I'm also going to go for a little guard off the bench, just to give a little extra playmaking, especially if we don't have Drew, because then basically all your playmakers are, in the start of your lineup. And I don't know about staggering that much because I don't know if they have the talent. So, someone like DJ Augustine, who can also shoot, he can play with the starters, veteran, get him on a little 1-2 year cheap deal. You could bring Etuan Moore back, little 3, and I guess he's a 3-and-D guy, you know what I mean?
I think I agree with your first point more. Playmaker coming off the bench.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
That's
DJ
not Etuan Moore, and I'd trade him for that.
Not trading him.
I'm not trading him like literal trading, like a team for team, but I'm saying like get Etuan Moore out of them and get me a playmaker coming off the bench. I'm cool.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yogi Ferrell is an underrated point guard that's going to be a free agent. Dude, they could even, if they want some playmaking as a big man, they can go for Dario Saric, who's going to be a restricted free agent as well.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is their free throw percentage is so bad, especially in this type of league, that you would have to have a certain type of free throw percentage where it needs to be sustainable at least 78% or something. Yeah, so you got Zion, who's bad. Lonzo Ball, who's bad. Derek Favors is not a good one either, 56%. Etuan Moore is 69. Jahlil Okafor 65. Jackson Hayes is even a 65.
Oh, man.
Josh Hart, a guard, 73%.
What's Lonzo?
What's that? What's 56? God damn.
And then even Drew Holiday's barely 70%. So
damn, Drew.
Yeah, you're talking a lot of missed points.
Yeah.
And then if you're thinking about even we've all been mentioning that they can't close games, free throws are part of that.
Yep, and there you
free
are.
Throws are a huge part of that.
See, that's unacceptable, and I would hope whoever comes in as a coach sees that as a glaring red flag and say, hey. Y'all need to get in the gym. Yeah, free throws.
You remember, guys, how to do when you fucked up? You have to do 10 push-ups, 10 free throws.
No, we had to run
get on the line.
Yep, high school.
On the line.
Yeah, that was terrible.
And then just really quickly to wrap it off, just Alec Burks is clutch. Shabazz Napier and Glenn Robinson, 3 random guards, and
I was gonna say Alec Burks too. I just didn't know his contract situation, honestly.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a list of free agents. That's why I was kind of hesitating, but. Yeah, that's basically it. To wrap it off, just maybe another creator off the bench that's not a big name. Upgrade that wing depth to prepare for the Western Conference battles. And I would say a stretch big is more important than a defensive center, but we'll see, man. We'll see. And the biggest thing, like I said, is coaching and internal development because you have good core guys.
I see it. All right. And then, so I guess that's going to be it for the football there. I mean, for the football, for the basketball there.
Oh, God.
And
to wrap it off, let the
you want to talk
again now?
Yeah, you want to talk about the football real quick?
Yeah, I'm with that.
All right, cool. And then that'll be it. Kenny Clark was going to be one of them.
Shout out Kenny, man.
Yeah,
70 years for 5. I mean, 70 years. 70 mil for
4 years, 70 million. IE strong, baby.
I think we were talking about him maybe the second episode. About him walking around school all scary.
Good all day. I used to wrestle with that guy.
There you go. And then he was a CIF winner.
Yeah.
His first year ever. Yeah, and then he came back and won the whole thing.
Yeah, salute to Kenny.
That's a beast, man.
Salute to Kenny, bro. We rooting for you.
He's made in the lab. Let's get into it. NFL. Receiving tight ends, receiving big contracts. So Travis Kelce and George Kittle have gotten paid. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce signed a deal worth $57 million over 4 years. That's averaging about $14.3 million a year. That's so fucking much. Dude, that's so much fucking money. San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle got paid even more than the older Kelce, inking a deal worth $75 million over 5 years.
Damn, I didn't know he got 75.
75 million over 5 years, averaging about $15 million a year. These two tight ends are a consensus top 2 of their position, but Zach Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles, tight end as well, begs to differ. Not only does Ertz not have a contract yet, but he feels as though he's in the same tier as Kelce and Kittle. So that means more money from the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. In the last 3 seasons, this is all their like cumulative, I hope I said that right, stats. So for Travis Kelce, he had 283 receptions, 3,603 yards, and 23 touchdowns. Zach Ertz, 278 receptions, 2,903 yards, so 700 less yards with about 5 less catches. So he's not getting that many yards per catch. But he does have 22 touchdowns compared to Travis Kelce's 23. When you look at George Kittle has 42 more yards and 2,945 yards total with 216 receptions. So Zach Ertz has 278 receptions. So that's about 62 more receptions. And George Kittle has 42 more yards. So you can tell, like, this guy's just kind of getting all these receptions. But again, the touchdowns are pretty impressive at 22 for Zach Ertz. For George Kittle, they're 12. So that's like the comparison when it comes to the numbers.
Schemes as well comes into account.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like that's the difference in between the three of them. Yeah. So you got Zach Ertz, they force feed him the ball. Sometimes he'll do a little bit of run blocking, but is not known for that. He's more of a receiver, and it's really short passes, and he'll catch the ball if he's thrown to. George Kittle, more of an all around type of player, cannot get tackled.
Yeah, that man's strong.
Safe hands,
definitely as well. When it comes to the touchdowns, they're running it, so they use him as a run block type of tight end, and then they get it into the end zone like that. They don't really worry about George Kittle in that type of area, but he definitely gets his touchdowns. More of them are in a run after catch.
Yeah.
So he's more of like a receiving tight end when it comes to like the touchdowns, at least, as you can tell by the yards. And then again, you have Travis Kelce, who's all around not as great as in run blocking, but he can still do it. Very, very smart. Been in the same system. Soft hands, everything about Travis Kelce. I feel like he's number one out of all of them. Like maybe the other two have like good seasons at one point, but Travis Kelce's been at the top for a long time. He is the oldest one too. But they did get the contracts that they deserved. So now Ertz says that he wants to be a player that stays with one team his whole career. So the deal has gone back and forth, and the last time talks were public was I think it was November 2019. Ertz is 29, Kelce is 30, Kittle is 26. So you can kind of figure out how much more time you have with these types of players here and what type of contracts to give them. Ertz also has Dallas Goedert right behind him. The front office loves Dallas Goedert. So my question to you guys is, which tight end would you pick out of all three? And would you sign even Zach Ertz to something right now?
Dude, I'm going Travis Kelce all the way, even if maybe I'm going Travis Kelce, man. And I get his numbers are more than likely inflated because that's probably the best quarterback ever thrown to him, and the most high-powered offense of all time.
I don't know. He gets open. He's done it with Alex Smith.
Dude, I was literally about to say this dude is great, and he puts his work in. And man, Jonas Valanciunas is doppelganger.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, where you going?
That dude is a baller, bro. Did you guys see him at the Laker game, before COVID and stuff? He had the all mink, I think it's the all mink Louis coat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
With the Tom Ford sunglasses.
Bro, he's a baller. I don't care what nobody says, man. And not only is he a baller, this man got colored eyes and a beard, and he's not scared to put his head down and take a hit. Am I wrong, though?
No.
Dude, he's a baller.
No.
Yeah.
Ertz, Philly needs to pay him, I believe. I agree that he's on, in the same tier. Nah, they need to pay him. And I think he has all the leverage, especially after the last season. Because, man, their receiving core was freaking... It was us three.
Mm-hmm.
No, for real. It was us three out there, man. And so I feel like he can be like, look, here's my number. This is what it's going to take to keep me. I know, I want to be here. You guys want me here. You guys need me here. So I think they should cop him off the money. And it sucks. That's how football is, or the whole next man up thing. So he'll probably get. So Kittle got 57 over 4 years. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Travis Kelce got 57 over 4 years. Kittle got 75 over 5. I'm going to go Zach Ertz is getting like 5 years, maybe 80 mil.
5 years, 80 mil.
Next man up. You know how it be.
Yeah.
But to sum it off, my pick's Travis Kelce. That dude's a baller. But Philadelphia's going to have to pay Zach Ertz, I feel. Damn. Carson Wentz is going to make that happen, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. Because I wasn't expecting it to be more than George Kittle.
I wouldn't pay him more than George Kittle personally.
Well, I just feel like George Kittle's just younger. So that's why I wanted the more years and maybe a little bit of a higher salary, too.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably, I respect it. So it'll probably be 4 years. I think he's going to make more on an annual basis, but it's going to be a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Let me reframe that. Just because importance to squad. Obviously, the Niners love George Kittle and like, don't get me wrong and stuff like that. But like I was saying with the Eagles, they ain't got nobody really.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just Carson Wentz and pretty much Zach Ertz.
They do have a lot of people on the books, which is weird because it's tough when you have that much people where you want to treat people right. You want to make sure they're taken care of, and then later on, you have a fucking cap it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can't provide for these people to give them like a good team.
And half of them are injured and stuff like that. You can't properly evaluate them and whatnot.
Exactly. So before we continue to go, how about you? Which tight end do you pick, and would you sign Zach Ertz?
Yeah, like Aaron said, he pretty much hit every nail on the coffin here. I also go with Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
he's just a more reliable option, more safer option. Definitely deserved his contract. I also agree Zach Ertz needs to be paid. I see him getting similar to a Derrick Henry contract, 4 years, $50 million, 4 years, anywhere from 50 to 70 million.
Yeah,
seems about fair.
I agree.
And yeah, I'm still going with Travis Kelce though.
Okay. So you guys pick Travis Kelce, man. I love Travis Kelce a lot, and I don't think you can go wrong with any one of these tight ends. But for myself, if I had to pick one, I would pick George Kittle. Not only is he younger, but he does the all-around thing. I'm a huge guy in run blocking because I believe that if you can run the ball, then you can effectively throw it pretty easily. He showed that a lot in this last year here, where he was able to make a lot of key blocks, be able to be more of a decoy because he's making those blocks. Once you have that type of brand, you're going to make a decoy type of block, and then you go out for a pass. I'm sure that contributes to his run after catch where he's just so open. I'm sure that also helps into the play action that the 49ers like to run too. When you think about these three, this guy is the full amount. And of course, you cannot tackle him like I was mentioning beforehand. Kelce, I think he's just a little bit older now. He's still just one notch below Kittle in my opinion, but Kelce's a fucking man. And Zach Ertz is cool too, but I just don't think that I don't think it's more of a skill. I think it's more of the scheme like we were mentioning. He could definitely get open. Not necessarily fast, has great hands, but I don't see him being dynamic. I just kind of see him there's Zach Ertz. He caught the ball again. When I watch George Kittle, I'm like, fuck. When I watch Travis Kelce, I'm like, damn.
When I threw that ball?
Yeah, when he threw that ball. And then when I sign Zach Ertz as football, if I'm a football team, football GM.
If you're the Eagles GM.
Would you sign Zach Ertz? If I'm the Eagles GM, I don't not sign Zach Ertz. Why do I not sign Zach Ertz? Are you
looking at their salary cap?
So their salary cap, I'm gonna be real.
Too much numbers on. You're like, fuck all this.
It's a lot. The salary cap is about $222 million, and then the active contract is about $200 million. So they have about 21 million in cap space. So all I know is that Carson Wentz contract is going to kick in the last part.
Yup.
So that's interesting. And if you want to have all of your investment in a tight end with your quarterback, okay, I'd rather have you as a wide receiver and a quarterback. or like a
line. I was going to give me a line.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz and hire us three right here, man. Like, I got you. Give me some gloves.
Their second, or at least right now, their big dude is Fletcher Cox, and then Lane Johnson, and then after that is Alshon Jeffrey. So Zach Ertz is
Alshon Jeffrey old, man. He need to wrap it up.
Fifth. But nah, I'm not paying him. I can let him walk, man, because I don't know, tight ends, like, they say that tight ends, like, okay, they say that it's not a mistake that the last like 5 winners, they all had like elite tight ends. So I don't know, man.
When you have an elite tight end, I think you hang on to him because you hear a couple of them that stay throughout the league. You get the Antonio Gates, the TEs, the Gronks, it's crazy that Jimmy Graham's not even on this list anymore.
Yeah. I just think that they have somebody to take care of it. Dallas Goedert's there. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah. I get you.
He's shown flashes.
Cheaper option.
He didn't even have like that type of role.
Yeah.
So it's in football, it's next man up, and I'm not trying to waste my salary cap on a Zach Ertz. So
imagine tomorrow Zach Ertz signs 4-year, $96 million.
We'll see what happens, and that's why we have these conversations.
96.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. Talked to a lot of NBA. Hopefully we'll see what the Pelicans do. Man, this is gonna be an exciting offseason because
go ahead.
Because all of the free agents, all of the questions, and then when are we gonna start back up? I think it's December
1st.
Yeah. So a lot to think about.
And to all the listeners, let us know how you like these segments. Give us any ideas. We're what 9 episodes in.
8
so
deep.
This will be the 8th one.
It's all trials and tribulations, you know what I mean? We just want to provide the best content while still talking about random sports.
Yeah, and then check out our Instagram at Sports U Podcast. Letter U.
And,
Sports, letter U Podcast.
Yep, so this is Aaron signing out.
Same thing on Twitter. This is Rob signing out.
Go ahead and take it away, Gifton, with the outro.
Support the U.
Sports U Uncensored.
And then the games we play would play. That's it. Nah, never.